Hey guys, it's Bennett. I'm back with another box out of the closet. This week it is 1994 Upper Deck SP football. These boxes were very, very high end again in the early 90s, but being that they're part of the junk era and the fact that there's only really one rookie to hunt for in these boxes, it's kept the prices way down. That rookie, of course, is Marshall Faulk. After Faulk, we dropped down pretty precipitously to Trent. I've won more Super Bowls than Dan Marino. And Heath, my name is Heath. I can't believe anybody ever took me seriously, Schuler. So there's a really big drop. It's funny about Dilfer. I was when I was looking around for these, I was curious to see what the internet had to say about Dilfer. And if you Google Trent Dilfer, it actually says that Dilfer won a Super Bowl, but makes the point of saying with the help of one of the greatest defenses ever assembled. I swear to God, look at the main page if you Google Trent Dilfer. So we're looking for Marshall Faulk. I don't know if you can see on the back of this, there'll be a die cut in every box, in every pack, excuse me. Every pack will have a die cut. 1 in 5 packs will have an All-Pro or future All-Pro die cut inserted. And then there's a special die cut, an All-Pro or future All-Pro insert die cut that's got a little notch cut out of the top of it. Those are 1 in 75 packs. So those are rarer. So we're going to be looking for those. We're going to be looking for Marshall Faulk rookie cards. We're going to be looking for his die cut in particular. And there's a couple of rare die cut inserts that are like celebrations, the record breaker ones of Marino's 300th touchdown. And I think Jerry Rice's, I want to say his 173rd touchdown catch. I think that was, I'm not sure why that was the number, but that's the number that's in my head. I haven't seen these cards in many, many years, so I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what it is. Anyway, so this is 1994 SP football, and let's get into it. Pretty standard setup for the 90s, meaning that I think there were 8 cards per pack. And like I said, there'll be 1 die cut in each. These boxes now, probably, if you wanted to buy them, would run you, I don't know, like 150, maybe 200 bucks, depending on where you're looking. These are all foil. They had gone to an all foil design in 94, very similar to how the SP baseball cards looked. If you've ever seen the Alex Rodriguez rookie out of Upper Deck SP baseball, that's what these cards are going to look like. They have a stripe down the right side of the card, which will have the player's name on it, except for some of the inserts where the player's name will be on the left. Hopefully these cards are not real bricked up, but again, if they are for any reason, I will I'll break them up, pause the video, come back and show you what we got. Anyway, so let's dive into some more nostalgia with 1994 SP football. Let's see what we can find. So there's our die cut, right? So there's going to be 1 in every pack. All right, and here we go. Oh, Boomer. It's Boomer Esiason. Oh, these are going to be all flipped around. There's Marion Butts, another unfortunate name. There's Reggie Cobb, Willie Rofe, there's Reggie White, one of the greats, Emmitt Smith. Obviously, anybody who's ever watched my channels, watched my videos, now I'm not a giant fan of his. And on from there we go. I hope everyone's doing well. I wanted to say hello to Wyatt. Wyatt, if you're watching this video, I wanted to give you a little shout out. Thanks for keeping up with what we're doing here on the channel. There's Marcus Allen. These cards do, again, like the other packs, bring back so many memories. Eric Turner, Chris Miller. There's Herschel. There's Irv Smith and Terry McDaniel. Okay. And on we go, onward and upward. If you enjoy the content of the video, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button below. Also, feel free to subscribe, drop a comment. There's Troy Aikman, Mike Pritchard, gonna stop. We don't have to flip all these around. There's Shepard. There's John Elway. All right, now I think, yeah, this is an all-pro insert of Elway, so that's a pretty cool card. See how it has that sort of hologram in the corner? Those are cool cards, so we'll keep that one off to the side. We have Scott Mitchell, who never really got a fair shake. That guy had some talent. And there's, Stan Humphries, who got far too many shots in the NFL, for my liking. There's another guy. You don't see a lot of great quarterbacks named Stan. Joe's a popular one, but Stan, maybe not so much. All right, let's keep going. If we pull Montana will be on the Chiefs in this product, because this is 94. So don't get startled if you see Montana in a Chiefs uniform. Sam Adams. Was he named after the beer? Was the beer named after him? No, we don't know. There's Charles Johnson. There's Randall. And Anthony Miller is our die cut. All right, let's keep going. So far, that Elway's pretty cool, actually. That Elway insert's pretty cool. Beyond that, we haven't really hit anything. There's Howard Ballard for the Seahawks. There's Jerry. We'll give Jerry some respect, put him in a different pile with everybody else. Tom Carter. All right, so now here you go. Here's William Floyd, premier prospect. William Floyd was okay. I don't know if I would call him a premier prospect in hindsight, but there's Quadre Ismail, Gary Brown, and Howard Ballard again. Okay. Keep on trucking. What's this? What do we got here? There's Aikman on the die cut in that pack. Going. Oh, there's Trent Dilfer, our premier prospect. We'll put Trent over there. Trent actually had a pretty decent career, you know. Make a lot of fun of Trent, but there's LaShawn Johnson on the rookies. There's Dave Meggett. Love Dave Meggett, but you know he had a pretty solid career. There's Stan Humphries again. You know, he bounced around a lot, won that championship with the Ravens in 2000, beat my Giants to do it, manhandled them. I think he went to a Pro Bowl with Tampa in the 90s. I mean, you know, played a long time. He was a serviceable guy. There's Eric Allen. He was a great corner, more than serviceable. Dan Wilkinson. Wow, talk about a bust. Dan Wilkinson. Remember Big Dan Wilkinson? There's Ken Norton. Used to watch his father fight before I watched him play in the NFL. Roosevelt Potts and Irving Fryer, who's also a sneaky good receiver. But you have to be a certain age to know the name Irving Fryer and give it the respect it deserves. There's David Palmer, premier prospect. I think maybe he didn't live up to that. What else we got going on here? Reggie Brooks. It's John Theory. Hardy Nickerson, hell of a linebacker. There is Sean Jefferson. Oh, that's a cool card right there. See that? There you go. There's the Jerry Rice All-Pro. We like that card. That's a cool card. There's Terry McDaniel. Now we'll hold on to that one. All right, so far, no Marshall Faulks. And we haven't gotten any of the sort of rarer record breaker cards, but the inserts we have gotten haven't been bad. So I'll take it so far. Let's see if we can keep it up. Now, keep in mind, we're looking for Marshall Faulk. We're looking for that hollow view die cut, the rarer of the cards of his, the rarer of his rookie cards. But they really only have value as PSA 10s. And the reality of the climate with PSA is unless I open up one of these packs and there is a slabbed up PSA 10 Marshall Faulk in here, chances of me submitting one to PSA and getting a 10, pretty slim. So I'm not going to get too excited. Though I would like to pull that card because it is the hit out of this product. And anytime you open a product like this, at least, you know, you're certainly looking for that. And there is Natron Means Business, one of my favorite nicknames. Back when Chris Berman was still funny. That time has long passed, but he used to be funny. There's John Copeland on the die cut. There's Roderick Thomas. There's Dave Brown. Ugh, I was a Giant fan. Dave Brown. There's Charlie Garner. Charlie Garner, I'm not going to put him in a separate pile, but there's Charlie Garner. Todd Stussy. There's Neil O'Donnell. Oh, there we go. That's cool. There you go. Steve Young will take. And there's Jim Harbaugh. What Steve Young. Boy, I'll tell you. Steve Young, when he finally got to take over for Montana, I mean, talk about having a guy waiting in the wings where you don't really lose much. I mean, Montana to me is certainly the greatest 49ers quarterback, maybe one of the greatest. I mean, he's definitely one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But Young was a hell of a signal caller. There's Warren Moon. Jones, Brian Blades out of the University of Miami. Dante Jones. David Palmer. Alvin Harper. Ugh, hate the Cowboys. There's Wayne Martin and Eric Metcalf. Great return man, Eric Metcalf on the die cut. All right, we still got a bunch of packs to go, so bear with me. Bear with me. I feel like we're going to hit that Faulk. There's Drew Bledsoe, Drew Wally Pitt Bledsoe, as he likes to be called by his friends. There's Dion. It's a cool Dion card, isn't it? That's a cool Dion card. We'll put that one to the side as well. Dion, I think, just lost. Oh, there we go. And there's a Barry Sanders All-Pro, again with the hologram in the corner. Isn't that cool? Yeah, we love Barry. God knows. There's Bernard Williams, Charles Galloway, and, Chris Galloway, and then Terry Allen on the die cut. Okay. Well, we're getting all the stars of the game, right? We haven't hit a Heath Schuler yet, which, God knows I'm looking for him. There's Mark Rippon. Talk about another guy who was a really serviceable quarterback. There's Marino. Who's this for the Jets? Art Monk. Oh, wow. Art Monk. Love Art Monk. There's Bruce Smith. Bryant Young. Premier Prospects. He was a great player. There's Barry. Love Barry. Herman Moore. And Curtis Conway on the die cut. Curtis Conway. What else we got here? Sterling Sharp. Andre Bad Moon Rising. Desmond Howard. Greg Hill. Another good return man of his day. Jeff Harrod. Michael Stewart. And David Klingler. Wow. Who remembers David Klingler, huh? He was going to be the next big thing. Boy, oh boy. David Klingler and Heath Schuler. I'll tell you, what a draft class. I mean, there were some good players that came out of the 94 draft, but at the top of the draft, I mean, you had Faulk and then you had just nobody. There's a cool Elway die cut. Put that one over there. We'll sleeve that up a little bit later. I won't sleeve them as I go, though, as I had been. There's Ronald Moore. There's Brett Favre. Has he gone to jail yet for stealing that money in Louisiana? Has he been indicted? I don't know what's going on with that case. I stopped following it. But bizarre stuff. You can see by the finishes on these cards why they're so difficult to get 10s on. I mean, unless it's been re-slabbed, the only 10 you're going to see of a card from this set will not have that PSA hologram on the top middle. It will be an old slab. There's no way around it. PSA simply will not 10 these cards. There's Benny Blades. Willie McGinnis. He was a premier prospect. I mean, that card's not worth anything, so I'm not going to put it to the side. And there's Bernie Kosar on the Dolphins. It's another weird thing to see Kosar out of a Browns jersey. There's Chris Warren. And Ben Coates, who's a decent tight end. You're just never going to find one in a modern holder unless it's been reholdered. PSA simply will not give out 10s on cards like these. I mean, a lot of it is they are obviously they're trying to control the pop counts artificially. They always have. If anybody tells you any different, that PSA is not trying to control the pop counts, they're lying to you. There's Derek Thomas. I remember watching a game where I think he had like 7 or 8 sacks in a game. An unbelievable linebacker. Really cut in the same cloth as a Lawrence Taylor. This guy could single-handedly take over a game. That's a cool card, that die cut. Take that. Chris Spielman. Jeff Hostetler. That's Eric Rett. Courtney Hawkins. What else we got here? Jim Everett. There's Jim Everett as a Saint. Or most of you remember him as a Ram. And there's Rick Meyer. There was a dearth, if that's the right word, of quarterback talent in '94. The top side of the quarterback talent was high, and then there was some guys starting in the NFL that were just they were bad. They were just bad. There's no way around it. It's Chris Spielman. I mean, the game's changed a lot, so you could win with a guy like a Trent Dilfer. You know, a guy who's gonna really, really manage the game, get a good running game, good defense. There's Dilfer again. You speak of the devil. But, you know, it was really, there's Andre Reed. There really just wasn't a tremendous amount of talent. And then you had guys start to come into the league, you know, and then Peyton and Tom Brady obviously come along. And then you started to really see, you know, you started to really build up the top end talent again. There's Charles Johnson, Gary Brown, Keith Cash, John McTierney, George Teague, Art Monk. Again, weird to see him out of a Redskins jersey, right? I forgot he finished his career with the Jets. That might have been '94, might have been his last year. I don't know. He was part of those amazing Redskins teams of the '80s. One of those Super Bowls with Joe Gibbs. It's Bucky Brooks, Chris Spielman. There's Charles Haley. There's a guy that won a bunch of Super Bowls between the Cowboys and the 49ers. There's Barry Foster. Michael Stewart. Howard Ballard. Howard Ballard. All right. We're going to keep on keeping on. We still have not found Marshall Faulk. Marshall, where are you hiding? There's got to be a Marshall Faulk in this box, right? There's Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson. There's the bus before his Steeler days. We started out with the Rams, for those of you who don't know that. Come on, Marshall, where are you? There's Junior Seau. Sad story, Junior Seau. There's Brent Jones, who was a very, very serviceable tight end in the 90s. Seau, I think the whole thing was CTE, right? Seau shot himself in the chest so that his brain could be studied. Really, really, really sad stuff. Died really young, killed himself young. There's Rob Moore, Vinny Testaverde, Bucky Brooks. There's Gary Clark. Derek Alexander, Willie. Come on. Where are you, bud? There's Stan Humphries. I got 3 Stan Humphries. No Marshall Faulks. Obviously, Faulk will be a cult in this product. This is before those days at with the Rams and the Greatest Show on Turf. There's Irving Fryer, one of my favorites as a kid. Dana Stubblefield. There's Johnny Morton. There's Tony Bennett, not the singer, although I hear he could carry a tune. And there's Chris Chandler. Oh, another terrible quarterback with a big arm. A lot of these guys had big arms. I mean, Dilfer, Schuler, not necessarily, but a lot of the guys in the league had really big arms, but just were terrible, terrible quarterbacks. Really bad quarterbacks. Bucky Richardson, speaking of bad quarterbacks. There's Harold Green, Rob Moore, Tim Brown. We like Tim Brown. There's Bryant Young. Again, Bryant Young was a hell of a defender. There's Sean Gilbert, another great defender. There's Thurman Thomas and Terry McDaniel. All right, we have think we have 8 packs left, and we still have not seen Marshall. Come on, Mr. Faulk. Arguably the greatest all-around running back in the history of the league. I think an argument could certainly be made between his pass catching, running out of the backfield. Oh, there's Heath Schuler. There he is. There's our buddy Heath. Jeez, that guy was terrible. That was awful. Awful, awful, awful. There's another Derek Thomas. That's not a die cut, so we'll put that one to the side. There's Jeff George. There's another guy. Speaking of a guy with a giant arm, a 10-cent Tony Romo head, and just couldn't read a defense to save his life. Just could not read a defense to save his life. Bad quarterback. But I'm getting back to Faulk. I mean, the way he picked up blitzes, the way he ran routes out of the backfield, his pass catching ability. I mean, he was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. There's Elway. It's Reggie White. Alonzo Spellman. Aaron Glenn. Love that picture. That's a great picture. And our die cut is Boomer Esiason, who you can hear on the radio here in New York. Made himself a nice little career post-football. I mean, those guys, obviously, even the star quarterbacks didn't make anywhere near as much. There's a die cut of Montana in his Chiefs jersey. There's Drew Bledsoe with a ridiculous pose. Bucky Richardson. There's Greg Hill. Ken Norton again. Adrian Cooper. Willie Davis. We're getting some of the same guys, but we are down to 5 packs. Still no Marshall Faulk. It's starting to get upsetting. Come on, Marshall. Go through a whole box. This box has been sitting here for 30 years. A whole box, and I'm not going to pull one of you. There's Warren Moon. There's Johnny Mitchell. Bernie Kosar. Darwin Scott. Eric Swan. Come on. Dolphins and our die cut. Aaron Glenn. Come on. 4 packs to go. We're down to 4 packs. Do you think he's just being dramatic, guys? You think Marshall's hiding and he's just being dramatic? Maybe. Maybe. Eric Metcalf. George Teague. Not the one that plays basketball. Johnny Morton. Steve Atwater. And Carl Pickens. All right. Come on now. We are getting down there to the end of this box. There's Darryl Johnston, the Moose. Even though he's a Cowboy, him I didn't hate quite as much. Aaron Glenn, Dave Brown, Steve Berline, and Herman Moore. Good receiver for the Lions in the 90s. Okay, come on now. I mean, there was no Calvin Johnson, but there weren't many Calvin Johnsons. All right, what I got here? There's Andre Rison die cut. Made some poor choices in the love department. I think it was his girlfriend from TLC, right, who burned his house down, set his house on fire. Alvin Harper. This is terrible. We have not seen a Faulk in this entire box. There's Rick Meyer and there's Brian Cox. We have 1 pack. 1 pack, guys. 1 pack. That's it. One more shot at pulling Marshall Faulk. Otherwise, I might have to go buy one. Just to take the sting out of this. Like I said, in grades other than a 10, they're not very expensive, so it's not that big a deal. But come on, what's the point of keeping this box all that time? I don't even remember pulling a Colt, frankly. Whoa, look at that! He waited until the very last pack. See, there's a guy who has a sense of drama. He knows what he's doing. This is not his first rodeo. This guy has a good sense of drama. Let's get that in there. There you go. There's our Marshall Faulk rookie card. It's not the die cut. In a 10, these are probably $200-300. Like I said, I won't even bother to sub this because there's no way. PSA is just not. I mean, this card looks fine. Everything about this card looks perfect. The corners, the edges, it just came out of a pack that's been sitting around. I mean, everything's good. I mean, the edge here actually looks a little bit, there's a little bit of white on that edge. It doesn't matter. PSA is just absolutely not going to tend the card, so it doesn't matter what I do. My last name could be PSA. I could be Mr. PSA, and they still wouldn't tend that card. There's Michael Johnson. There you go. All right, guys, that's it. That's the end of our 1994 Upper Deck SP. Anybody who stuck around to the end, I appreciate you watching it all the way through. Please leave a like. Please drop me a comment. If you, subscribe, share the videos with your buddies. And if you haven't yet, we're getting closer and closer to our 500 sub number. And when we get there that day, we're going to give away our 3 really cool NFL jerseys. Please check out that video on my channel and drop me the phrase that pays so I can enter you into the competition. Those of you who have subscribed who have not yet done that, please do so I can add you to the list. And till next time.